Welcome. In this episode of the channel, Mystery Yonder, we will discuss about the case that caused a lot of a stir, and also a lot of fear. That one of the mummy Otsy, also known as the mummy of Similaun. The story of a curse that caused 8 victims. We are not in Egypt but in the ice of the mountains. In 1991, Helmut Simon and his wife Erika came across human remains during a hike at about 3,200 meters altitude, noticing a head and a shoulder sticking out of the ice. The first thought was the finding of a missing hiker. The mummy was found in a region of the Alps between Italy and Austria, and the remains have been dated to 5,300 years ago. The first hypotheses were that of an ancient hunter. Today Otzi's body lies in the Museum of Bolzano in Italy, and every year it is the destination of thousands of tourists fascinated by the story of the mummy of the ice. Fortunately, the curator of the museum and the other employees are not suggestible people, and by their own statement they do not believe in the dam of the mummy. And even the commercial activities in the area of the museum are happy of the arrival of Otsy in the city. But let's try to recall all the passages and the facts that created the legend of the mummy. The Otsy mummy is a natural mummy. This means that the body has not received any artificial treatment to be preserved, but instead, it was nature and the cold that preserved his body almost perfectly for over 5,000 years. A man, a hunter, or perhaps a warrior who died between the ages of 40 and 50, whose body at the discovery weighed 15 kilograms and was 1 meter and 60 centimeters high. From the laboratory analysis it was revealed that Otsy had a violent passing away. His hands and chest show cut injuries. An arrowhead was found in his shoulder, and a violent head injury was established, which was probably the main cause of death. Peculiarity of the mummy are the 50 and more tattoos it has. Mostly rudimentary drawings of lines, points and crosses, but which make Otsy the first tattooed human being known. Analyzers have found that these tattoos are placed in proximity to signs of arthritis, perhaps used for a reason of medical care, or maybe a ritual. In addition, mushrooms believed to have magical or superstitious powers were found inside Otsy's bag, and this led to the belief that the man was a sort of shaman. A shaman who wanted to take revenge by doing a malediction, taking his revenge after over 5,000 years. Among the people convinced that the dam of Otsy is real and the skeptics. Between natural and premature deaths, the exact number of victims linked to this story is not clear, but the most recurrent number to date is 8 victims. Not even a year after Otsy's discovery, the first of a series of deaths occurs, which gave rise to the belief that the mummy is shrouded in a malediction. The first victim was Rainer Henn, who died at the age of 64 from a frontal car collision in July 1992, while on his way to a conference to present new research on Otsy. Henn was a pathologist from the Institute of Forensic Medicine of the University of Innsbruck. He was the leader of the team that examined Otsy's body. He lifted the body of the mummy with his hands and placed it in a body bag. Shortly after happened the Fritz death in 1993, at the age of 52. He was an expert climber who had led Henn and his team to Otsy's body. Kurt was the one who removed the ice from the face of the mummy during the discovering. Rainer Holz, a 47-year-old Austrian, was the third victim. He was a journalist who filmed an exclusive documentary on the removal of Otsy's body from the ice for Austrian television. A few months later he contracted a mysterious disease, apparently an aggressive brain tumor, and died sometime later, in February 2004. Helmut Simon died in 2004 at the age of 67 and was the 4th victim. It was Simon who, together with his wife, had discovered Otzi's body in 1991, during a hike in the Alps. He returned to the site of the discovery alone in October 2004, in order to celebrate the victory of the legal battle that had recognized him the sum of £50,000 as the discoverer of the mummy. But he did not return. Rescuers were alerted. It was later discovered that the weather conditions had worsened, and Simon fell into a crevasse almost 100 meters deep. His body was found 3 weeks later, covered by the ice like the mummy he had discovered, about 200 meters from where Otsy had died. With the Simon death, the family continued the legal battle regarding the mummy discovery, which only ended in 2010 with the sum of €175,000. Dieter Warnecke was the leader of the rescue team which searched Helmut Simon. She was 45 years old and the fifth victim. The woman died of a heart attack, even if she was in perfect health conditions according to the statements of her family. Her death occurred mysteriously less than an hour after Simon was buried. Friedrich Brunner, the sixth victim, Professor Brunner, died in January 2005 during a surgical operation to his heart. He was one of the researchers who worked on the mummified body, and had discovered a procedure to protect Otzi's body against attacks of fungi and bacteria. Konrad Spindler was a leading expert on Otzi's mummy. He suffered from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and in April 2005 his aggravated condition led to his death at the age of 66. He had little regard for the theory of the Otsy curse. He stated, "I think it's a lot of garbage. It's just a media gossip. For sure now they'll say I'll be the next." He died and he was the first to inspect the mummy's body and the seventh victim of this legend. The eighth and last victim to date has been Tom Loy, who died at the age of 63 in November 2005 before finishing a book regarding the mummy. He was the director of the Archaeological Science Laboratories at the University of Queensland Institute of Molecular Bioscience. Also, he came into physical contact with the mummy many times. He had identified residues of human blood on Otzi's fur robe and some animal blood on his arrows. His death was a surprise for his family, even if seems he suffered from a previous blood disorder, which was diagnosed shortly after coming into contact with the mummy. Tom never spoke about a curse. Family members would like to publish the book he was working on, but have not yet been able to find the manuscript. But how many other researchers have such characteristics to attract the anger of the shaman warrior? Why the mummy didn't hit them? And why did the curse claim the first two victims close to the discovery of the mummy, between 1992 and 1993, and the other 6 victims starting from 2004? After 11 years, and altogether within a year and a half. Well, we can't say for sure that the legend is real, but you can see by yourself that in this fascinating story there are numerous coincidences related to the discovery of the mummy and the protagonist who worked on it. In our opinion, in every legend there is a bit of truth, and in every reality there is something legendary. But we leave it to you to judge the alleged curse of the Mummy of the Ice. What do you think? Is it real, or a simple superstition born by random coincidences? Tell us it in a comment. And we came to the conclusion of this video. I guess each of you has your own idea. Leave it in a comment and tell me, is the legend real? Give a like and subscribe to the channel, Mystery Yomba. Other videos are coming soon. Don't forget to share these fascinating stories with friends. See you at the next mystery.